Let's color some icing using Chefmaster's natural food coloring.
So when it comes to natural food coloring versus regular food coloring, the one question I had was shelf life. Expires January 29th, 2026. And then this little bottle expires April 22nd, 2028. It's about 2 years longer shelf life. All right, so we have pink from Chefmaster. Another thing I have been wondering about is the smell of the natural food dyes. Since they are made with vegetables and things we kind of already know what they might smell like or even taste like, I'm curious how much it'll affect the icing, if at all. Okay, I can definitely get like that beet smell just a little bit. Yeah, so it kind of just smells like a salad or like a dressing or something, which is kind of funny coming from a food coloring. Let's get this in some icing and see how it colors. Start with this pink now, and I'm gonna shake it up a little bit. It does feel kind of thick or like dense in there. Some of them do feel a little bit more loose than the others. I'm gonna do a drop on my spatula. See how it was kind of like that syrupy look almost. Okay, kind of a nice little soft pink that we're getting. That is the pink food coloring after one drop. Add another drop now. I'll pull it away a little bit slower this time so you can see how it is a little bit thick. That is what the icing is looking like after 2 drops of coloring. Let's add a third drop. Here's the icing after the 3rd drop of coloring. I feel like there wasn't a huge difference between 2 and 3, but let's add a 4th and see if it changes it. Otherwise, I'm going to just let this sit and develop. That is what the pink food coloring gets you after 4 drops in about 4 ounces of icing.
And here's the iced cookie. There was no apparent flavor changes in the icing, but I did notice some spotting once it was dry. I didn't dry these in front of a fan, so that is probably the cause. I'll test it again another time, but that is the final color.
Big things with natural coloring is the cost of the coloring, the shelf life of the coloring, storage, the pigments that you get. So it is going to be a lot more muted. You're going to need a little bit more time because you're going to want to let these develop and darken. You're not going to get the brightest color straight from the bottle. You're definitely going to need to let these set. Smell, that's another thing to consider. Next thing to consider is taste. So I think those are like the big things to consider when it comes to natural coloring.
So that was just the first color of the collection. Stay tuned for the rest of the colors in Chefmaster's natural color line.